Hi, and welcome to another episode of Starship Gaming. Before we get started, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell if you want notifications of when we make more awesome videos. Today, I'm going to discuss my gaming finds for February 2020. So the first one here, February 2020, the movies for the PC. I have had several copies in the past. I actually just recently did a video on this. If you haven't already seen my review of the movies, it's, one of the episodes we recently did. Go back and watch it. Please, definitely do that. But I found this recently at a thrift store for, I believe it was 99 cents, to be honest. Of course, you can see it came with the free little piece of duct tape there on the right side there. I guess they were trying to keep the case together, or they might have just had some silver sticky that they just wanted to put on there. I don't know what the purpose of it is. I'll be taking that off probably very soon. A lot of these you'll be seeing as PC games this month. Very good month for PC games, not so good for some of the other stuff I collect. So this one is called Remission. I picked this up for $5 at a local flea market. It's still sealed, never been opened. The thing about this is it was given away to cancer patients, children and teenagers, for free. This was about, I'm going to say 15 years ago, 2005, 2006, as of this recording. And I've actually played this game before. I used to have a copy a few years ago that somebody gave me. They had like multiple copies. But, and that does remind me, several years ago, I was at a thrift store and there was literally like 200 copies of these just dumped in one of their DVD case, glass cases. And they're like, well, we got like 10 more boxes in the back. They were just donated to us from a local hospital. So I guess they didn't give too many of these out. I plan on doing a review of this at some point in the future, probably in April. But it's just a kind of an oddity, really. Mostly because the subject matter, you don't really have a lot of games out there that deal with the subject matter of cancer. This game is, meant to be both an action game and educational, and I think that's really interesting because no other game has tackled the subject of cancer. They have. There's a few out there, but this is one of the few. Probably one of the first to ever tackle it. So I picked this up for $5 sealed. I plan on reviewing it sometime in the near future. The next one is one of those little cheap, budget titles that you would find like at Walmart or Circuit City back in the day. Galaxy of Arcade, they released a bunch of these. Like, I think you could pick them up brand new back then for like $10, $15. Back in like the late 90s, early 2000s, because I had quite a few Galaxy of Arcade stuff. This one is 3D TETRIMANIA, which, I'm not a big fan of TETRIMANIA, but I thought it was worth picking up. Unfortunately, it will not run properly on my Windows XP Service Package 3 PC, so to play this I had to break out the old Windows 98 Giant, my huge compact computer that I have. I picked this up for $1 at a local thrift store. This one was given to me for free, so this is a freebie. It's called Crystal Key 2. I don't really know a whole lot about it, but I'm going to give it a try soon. Here's another one I picked up for $1. Mini Golf by E-Games. E-Games released a crap ton of games back in the day, like from 1998 through like 2004, 2005. You saw that they were essentially budget titles. I picked this one up for $1. It'll run okay on my Windows XP PC, but then it crashes, and I'm not sure why, but it works perfectly fine on my Windows 98 Giant. So, yeah, I picked this up for $1 at a local thrift store. Here's one I picked up at a local thrift store for $5, Crimson Skies. I was well acquainted with the original Xbox game, but I had never played the original, and the original, I haven't really done a lot of research into it. I've never played the original before. I plan on doing a review of it too sometime in the future, but I played a little bit of it, and it seems like it has a very similar layout to like how the flight simulators of the day were. There's that. So I picked this up for $5. Speaking of flight simulator, I also picked up Flight Unlimited 3 for $1.99 at a local thrift store. It came with the manual. I just wish I had the big box to go with it. And ironically enough, next to it was Microsoft Flight Simulator 98. Got it for 99 cents. It looked better back then than it does now. Of course, I've played the newer flight simulators, but this one was the very first one I ever played with the joystick back in the day. This looked really, really real. Fortunately, it works on my Windows 98 PC, so I play it pretty often alongside with, Flight Simulator 10 and Train Simulator, which Train Simulator I'm going to do a review on in the near future. Of course, my Train Simulator copy is a copy from the UK, which works perfectly fine on a US PC. Now, this one I was really excited to get because I haven't been able to track down a copy since I saw it brand new in the stores back in the day. The Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind. I had the original, well, I still do. I have the original Xbox version. I've played it all the way through, but I never did have the PC version, so I was able to pick this up. Actually, I was able to pick up 3 discs of it, which I'll show you. I was able to pick those up for $1.99 for all 3. This one's the next one in the set, the Elder Scrolls Construction Set, where you can you can customize and whatnot. And then the expansion pack, the Elder Scrolls 3 Tribunal. Yeah, I was able to pick all 3 of those up for $1.99. So, and they were pretty good. Very light scratches. It looks like they, somebody played them, but they took pretty good care of them. So that was a pretty good deal. Now, this game I picked up for $10 at a local thrift store. This one, it's the big box, of course. It's complete. It was kind of it was controversial when it was released back in the day, 2005, 2006. Left Behind Eternal Forces. It's based on the book series and I guess you could say the movie series too. Mostly the book series though. But it was controversial mostly because in the game, it really treated people of other religions badly. I'm not going to go into it, but it was really controversial, and it was kind of sad how it it had one mode, which is in the game, in this copy. I won't say what it is. If you want to look into it, Google the controversy around this game. It's kind of shocking, honestly, especially in a game that came out, at this time, this far ahead in our society. I mean, I'm not going to get into the whole political aspects of it, but I think you understand where I'm getting at. I picked this up for $10. I didn't have this one. And it was actually still sealed. I guess, there was copies that were left over, and they, from a Christian bookstore or somewhere, and they just got thrown up on the shelf. Actually, this was a GameStop copy. Oh, snap. GameStop, you just got yourself into some controversy. I'm kidding. I really am. Yeah, I picked this up for $10. Now this one I recently did a review on, DQ Tycoon. If you haven't seen my video on that, go back and give it a watch. I think you'll enjoy it. I picked this up for 99 cents. What more can I say about it? What more can I say about it? If you want to watch my review on it and hear more about it, go watch that video now. My next one, picked up for 99 cents, Lord of the Rings, or The Lord of the Rings, I should say. The Lord of the Rings, War of the Ring. Haven't had a chance to play this yet, so I may do that soon. Okay, this one is not a... It's not a game, okay? It's just a Windows 98 upgrade disk. I guess somebody burned it and made a fancy, thing for it. So this one was given to me, so freebie. This one I picked up from a local thrift store for 50 cents. They had $1 on it previously. This one, it has like over 230 programs, I believe. It's called Weather 2000. It was supposed to have like weather software and everything on it, just stuff to mess around with. Most of the software is out of date and won't work now. Fortunately, I got some of it to work on my Windows XP PC, but a lot of the software, it required the internet, and a lot of these websites that these programs were designed for, I want to say about 98% of them no longer exist. So the functionality of this particular program, I mean, it's not a game, but it's a program, or I should say series of programs. The functionality of it, doesn't exist anymore, so it's more or less just a shelf piece at this point. For some reason, I was really excited about this one. I picked this one up for 99 cents. It's Lego chess. I love me some chess games, so I'll probably do a review on this in the near future. This is one I picked up from a local thrift store for $1.99. They went ahead and just wrote it on the top on marker. And that's one thing about this thrift store that kind of annoys me, especially for resellers. They mark everything in permanent marker. Like I remember back in 2014, they had a copy of Earthbound, which is a rare game, goes for hundreds of dollars. It's a Super Nintendo game, if you don't already know. And they marked $4.99 across the label in marker, and then on the back, they marked $4.99, essentially rendering this thing not worthless, but they really diminished the value of it. I think someone might have done this on purpose, but I'm not 100% sure. Of course, they do this with a lot of their games, which is one reason I don't really particularly like to go there. It was one guy who ran that. It was one guy who ran that place that used to do that. And after he retired, his wife took over, and she does it now. Like, uses permanent marker on everything. It was so bad, they were even writing it on the clothes, and then she was telling people, oh, it'll wash out. I remember one incident back in 2009, when he still worked there. He wrote, 99 cents on a sweater, and my mother bought the sweater, and the stain never came out. And, I don't know how they've been in business this long. This thrift store, it's ran by an organization. It's been around for close to 32 years. I believe it's been around for 32 years as of this recording. And as far as I know, they've always done this little $1.99. What's interesting is that they used to be a really famous thrift store in my area. And they used to sell PCs, refurbished PCs. Back in the mid-2000s, I picked up 2 PCs from them, a Windows 98 PC and a Windows 95 PC, just stuff to tinker around with. $50 a pop, including the monitor, keyboard, mouse, everything. So they were real famous for that. And then the guy who refurbished their PCs, he passed away, and so now they don't do all that. They still sell PCs. They have some guy who refurbishes them, but it's mostly just junk stuff like old Windows XP PCs or Windows Vista PCs that are, languishing on the shelf for months before somebody picks them up. They're still asking $50 for them, but they want $50 for just the case. And then you get some of them, they'll put like Linux or something on them, just to slap it on there. Just slap it on there. Just slap it. They'll just put that on there. Linux or I think they used to use Zorn OS, and now they use Linux Mint. We've gotten way off track. But anyway, I picked this up for $1.99. Rocky Mountain Trophy Hunter 2, Above the Tree Line. I've played the first one in this series, and it was pretty good. Sorry for getting off track there. I was just reminiscing. Here's another one of them e-games again. Bowling Mania. Picked this up for 99 cents at a thrift store. And another one, Family Games 10-pack. There were some pretty good games on this. The only thing that annoys me about it is that it automatically, as soon as you download any of the games from it, it automatically gives you a download for Net Zero circa 2006. As Net Zero. And I actually had Net Zero back in the day. I used Net Zero in the latter half of the 2000s. Early 2010s, and then I switched to People PC for like a year. So I used Net Zero for like 4 or 5 years, and then I switched to People PC for like 2 years or something before I went to regular internet. And the reason why was the area I lived in, they did not offer a high-speed internet connection for whatever reason. So yeah, picked this up for 99 cents. Here's another one I picked up for 99 cents. The case, it's a loose disc. The case was all broken, so, it was just sitting out on the shelf. In Fisherman Freshwater Trophies. Another 99 cent find. Need for Speed 3, Hot Pursuit. This one is a freebie. It was given to me by a friend. It was brand new sealed until I got a hold of it. Word search. It's just a cheap little piece of software, and it does what it says it does. It looks like it was designed for like Windows 95 or 98, but it works perfectly fine on a Windows XP PC. Once again, another E-Games. Space Arcade Collection has just a collection of Space Arcade related games. Works perfectly fine on my Windows XP Service Package 3 PC. And honestly, some of the games are pretty good on this. I might do a review of a few of them. I actually might do a review of this in general. But we'll wait and see. Maybe not. Let me know in the comments down below. And once again, another E-Games release. I believe it was E-Games. 303 game collection. Some of the games are pretty decent on this. I haven't played every single last one of them, but I've played probably about 20 of them since I've gotten this, and some of them aren't too bad. Picked this up for 99 cents. Here's one I picked up for $1.99. It's a 2-disc set. Galactic Civilizations 2, Dreadlords. I haven't really played this one a whole lot. I played it for a little bit, but I may do a review on this in the near future. Not immediately, but it may be several months. I want to play the first Galactic Civilizations before I, and review it before I review this one. Now here's one I definitely will be reviewing in the near future. Knights and Merchants. This one is, I love this game. It is absolutely one of my favorite games, and I definitely want to do a review on it. I think it is worthy of that. I believe this may be E-Games. 100 plus great games. Millennium Edition, apparently. So, I picked it up for 99 cents. This is one I definitely, will be trying out some of the games on here. Here's another one I picked up for 99 cents. Need for Speed High Stakes. I actually used to have this game back in the day, around 2002, 2003, I believe. Can't really remember. I had it. I've played it. And I really did like this game. I finally found another copy after all these years. And huzzah! I was able to find only one PlayStation game, PS1 game, in February 2020. Activision Classic Games. Yeah, it is what it says it is. It is just a collection of games that Activision developed, like Pitfall and, River Raid. Just some of the good ones. A lot of them I didn't really care much for. Pitfall and River Raid. I believe Barnstormer was on here. Those were the only ones I really cared for. I was able to get this one for $4.99 at a local thrift store. It's, not a bad game. It's in pretty good condition other than the case. That's easily replaced, and the manual is a little crinkly, which that's easy to replace too. I could get a new manual for it fairly cheap, less than $5. But yeah, I picked this up for $4.99, and I'm kind of happy. As you know, if you've watched my videos in the past, I am a huge PS1 collector. So I was able to find this one in February, so that made me pretty happy. And on the very last day of February, actually on the 29th, obviously a leap year, I went to a local Walmart and picked this up for only $25. It's the At Games Legends Flashback, which has 100 built-in games on it. And honestly, I was really impressed with this. I actually did a review on this one. If you haven't watched the review of this yet, you need to go back and watch it. Just sit down and make yourself a cup of tea and just sit back and relax and watch this. There's nothing really more I can say about it, but if you haven't seen the video yet, go and watch it. So yeah, I picked this one up for $25. So February was a pretty good month for gaming finds, honestly. I found some pretty good stuff, mostly PC stuff. Not so much other stuff, but it's coming near spring, and yard sale season had just began, or I should say has just begun here. And I did find some stuff already for this month of March, but you'll get to see that near the end of the month or early next month when I do a video on it. So yeah, you'll be able to check out some of the stuff I found. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell if you want notifications of when we release more awesome videos. And until next time, I will see ya.